Hey y'all, welcome back to another YouTube video for WEIGO podcast, aka What Else Is Going On. Well, actually, that's backwards. It should be What Else Is Going On podcast, aka WEIGO podcast. You can find the audio version of the podcast. Episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday, wherever it is you listen to your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all of that good stuff. And then you can find, of course, the visual versions on YouTube and the videos like now that I do. I had kind of not slacked off for the weekend, but had a really um, busy couple of days, which is no excuse, right? Because what did they say? Everybody gets the same 24 hours as Beyonce, which I'm only joking when I say that because that is not a fair comparison to make. But anyway, so I'm back to trying to make sure that I put out content daily. For those of y'all, some of y'all do know, but for those of y'all that don't and are new, welcome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you so much, your commentary, all of it. I do gig work, so I'm on and off the road, meaning I just haven't said the name of the companies, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out, picking up passengers and all that good stuff. And I decided to hop off the road, come home, have lunch, do a quick video, and then get back out there. Can I just say something? Again, for those of y'all that have watched the channel since I started and I've shared little stories about rideshare with y'all, listen, some of the same things that y'all as passengers, rightly so, complain about for your drivers, we drivers, rightly so, have the same complaints. I cannot tell you the amount of people, like when you're with the public a lot, because I used to do retail management and all that stuff. So I worked with the public, worked in customer care departments, worked for alarm companies, all of that stuff. So I've dealt with the public, right? But there is nothing like picking up strangers and really seeing like, wow, people really operate in a world like this. Today I had a man say, he gets in the car and he calls me. I forget what name he calls me. And I said, it's Taria. How are you? And then he goes, looks at his phone. It says Tara. I said, it's Taria. Sir, I know my name. We're not going to do this. Small, yes. But when I get in and start my day on days that I'm driving or what have you, I like to just pick you up, confirm your address, and take you where you need to go. I'm as much as I love to talk and have discussion, I don't like to do that. Two places I don't like to do that: at the gym or in the car. I want to say, hi, Miss So and so, 1234 Apple Way. Got it. Swipe, turn whatever I'm listening to up so you can hear, I can hear, what have you, or hopefully they have their headphones in. And we just go on. I don't want to disturb your peace. Please don't disturb mine. Because I don't think people realize sometimes your day and your moods, well, we know it can affect other people. So, granted, people have told me maybe they just feel like they can talk to you. I get all that. I really do. And I'm really trying to take all that into consideration when someone gets in and lets off, right, on me as far as want to tell me their problems. But at the same time, I think people do forget. I pray in the morning before I get in my car, before I do whatever. I pray for my moods. You know, some days I feel like I'm experiencing anxious moments and thoughts and feelings, and I'm able to calm myself down and get myself to a good space. And then I have somebody getting in the car, dumping all their trauma, a stranger that I don't know. So, but like I said, I have to go back to thinking if I can get out of that feeling, maybe they can, and maybe they need it to release. I don't know. But anyway, I just told y'all all of them, and I'm supposed to be jumping into this video. So let's get started. So y'all, there are some Bravo things that I've been seeing and been wanting to discuss with y'all, and then some other things that came across the WeGo desk that I wanted to discuss with y'all. So first up, can we talk about Peter Thomas, again, another lawsuit, another day. They'll never see a dime. RHOA star Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, Peter Thomas, ordered to pay $9 million. That makes me laugh because really, $9 million over never opened Miami restaurant. Ex-Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, Peter Thomas. Yo, I know she is tired of him being referred to as her ex-husband. Anyway, he was hit with a massive seven-figure judgment over a Miami restaurant he planned to open. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online last month, a Miami judge granted a default judgment in favor of DTS DT Retail against Thomas. his now closed Miami restaurant, Bar One Miami Beach, and his separate business, One Society. Okay, so they granted a default judgment against, again, the three things: Peter Thomas himself, his now closed Miami restaurant, Bar One Miami, and his separate business, One Society. Thomas ran Bar One from 2019 until late last year when the business was evicted over unpaid rent. Before the eviction, Thomas had plans to open a separate upscale supper club named One Society. He said he planned to spend $3 million on the project. The project never took off, and the company formed for One Society was dissolved. DTSDT Retail was the landlord for the location where Thomas planned to open the One Society. In January of 2023, DTSDT sued Thomas and his businesses. The landlord claimed One Society signed a 120-month lease for the location. That's a 10-year lease, right? 10 times 12, yeah. So he's around here signing 120-month slash 10-year leases. DTS claimed Thomas' business breached the lease by failing to pay rent from October 2022 to January 2023. Did it say when he signed the lease? Was it in 2019? At the time, DTS said One Society owed $61,000 in back rent. In addition, the landlord said Thomas had failed to produce the tenant plans within 30 days of the lease being executed as required per their deal. That's interesting. I wonder if the owners of these buildings that have businesses inside them, if that's a standard thing, or if it was just for them that you have to produce the plans for the business within 30 days, because otherwise people could just be leasing out those offices and spaces for whatever. The company claimed One Society refused to turn over the keys. Despite the breaches, DTS demanded Thomas be ordered to vacate the location and cough up the unpaid rent. Thomas and Bar One were listed as defendants in the lawsuit due to them being guarantors on the lease. In response, Thomas denied all allegations of wrongdoing. He argued DTS breached the lease by failing to provide him sufficient access to the premises. He argued DTS's actions excused his obligations under the lease until the breach was cured. Thomas responded, but One Society did not file an official answer, which led to the judge granting a default judgment against One Society and ordered the company to vacate the premise immediately. In a recent motion for default judgment, DTS argued that the One Society and Thomas had not paid the lease continuing monthly obligations of base rent, which began March 1st. Okay, so that was when it was signed, 2023, and other operating expenses, insurance, and property taxes. DTS claimed due to the default, One Society and Thomas were responsible for damages, including accelerated rent and operating expenses due under the lease. The landlord demands $9,175,189.38, which includes all rent owed on the 120-month lease and other expenses. So they sued for all the months that he was supposed to be leasing from them. On February 27th, 2024, the court granted the default judgment and awarded DTS $9.1 million plus attorney fees from Thomas and One Society. So Thomas tells RadarOnline.com he plans to appeal the judgment. I'm going to win, he said. They'll never see a dime. Thomas accused the landlord of micromanaging him and failing to give him the keys on time. When I tell you, it seems like, I'm not just saying it is my opinion from looking at this, that Peter always comes up with a scheme that he's setting up to come to the restaurant industry with the BS, because, sir, and $9 million, we'll see how this turns out for Peter. I just want him to maybe move on to luxury resorts. Then again, maybe not, because it don't seem like, is he clearly just not, he's good at maybe starting the businesses, but maintaining and running an operation is not his thing, because you've had restaurant after restaurant after restaurant, and now these suits coming up against you, $9 million. So it will be interesting to see, though, if he wins his appeal. If so, I'm sure he will let us know that. Moving on, let's talk about a Bravo housewife, Miss Heather Gay. So Heather Gay's been around here doing interviews and sharing her thoughts on the body positivity movement. All a big lie. RHO SLC star Heather Gay says she felt pressure to take Ozempic for 30-pound weight drop. Heather Gay is down 30 pounds and she has Ozempic to thank. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star addressed her weight loss rumors while admitting she felt pressure to take the diet drug after several of her friends started to drop weight. RadarOnline.com has learned. Gay, known for projecting body positivity, says she's given up the banner of being a relatable public figure. And it's disappointing and sad to know that body positivity was all a big lie. The Bravo Liberty shared. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Let me go back. No, okay, I'm sorry. She says, and it's disappointing and sad to know that body positivity was all a big lie. The Bravo celebrity shared on ABC News after opening up about using the diabetes drug to shed pounds because it's better to not be overweight. Gay admitted she absolutely felt pressured before using the drug, which she said was her last hope for weight loss. I didn't want to show up at another party and all of my friends 20 pounds thinner and just be resentful. She also shared she started to feel seen for the first time since losing weight. She said people tell her, you look great, you look thin, what are you doing? Are you on Ozempic? Even after being on television, writing a New York Times best-selling book, for the first time, I was being valued by my castmates, by the public, in a way I have never been valued before, and that felt sad to me. She goes on to say that she wants to be a positive role model for her three daughters, Annabelle, Ashley, and Georgia. I want them to feel empowered because I don't want to lie to them and say it doesn't matter. What matters is on the inside, but it does matter. I don't know why that's the way it is in the world, but that's been my experience. I have beautiful, vibrant, empowered daughters, and I would hate for them to think their value is limited to their dress size. Gay previously addressed using Ozempic at Variety's Women of Reality TV event in LA in November. She admitted to being on the diabetic drug for a long time, but she hadn't seen massive results. You lose 5 pounds, people are nicer to you, she said of her observations after dropping some added weight at the time. I don't know why, it's just the way the world works. And that makes me sad for women, but happy that I'm down 5. Listen, I'm of this mindset. People don't know what all is going on in people's bodies. So you hear somebody say Ozempic, and people automatically assume you're doing it for vanity reasons or you're doing it for this reason. And of course, we know there's not just Ozempic, there's Wegovy, semaglutide, which has this, and I think that all has the same active in it as Ozempic. I think people can look at, again, we can look at people and not know that their insides could be all jacked up. Their hormones may not be able to be regulated. They may struggle with PCOS, Hashimoto's disease. And these are things that GLP-1s, which is what Ozempic is, Mounjaro is, those medicines have proven to help those things. So there are people that are on these medicines to lose weight, but also it helps keep them healthy and their hormones in check and their Hashimoto's flare-ups from happening. I've read stories. I've been looking into all of this because I'm like, for me personally, I don't care what anybody does to lose weight, as long as you're hopefully not harming yourself. I feel like men, and women too, deserve to be happy in their bodies. And as we get older, it is harder, right? We have to put in a little more effort to be healthy, manage our weight and all of that. And some things are beyond our control, period. I was given, when I was having health issues and it infected my hairline and stuff, which I'm still, because it was like off and on, which I'm still recovering from. I'll never forget, I was given this medicine by a dermatologist that was a heart medicine. So, we talk about using things like this is for one thing, but they're using it for another. Ozempic is for this and people are using it for that. But it could be healthily. Not everybody. Some people are using it and just want to lose that extra whatever. And again, that to me, I feel like that is their business. But there are some people that are on it for health reasons. I know people that are literally on it. They don't have diabetes, but it regulates their hormones and things in their body. And again, then I know some people who are on Wegovy and semi-glutide. I always want to say semaglutide, but I think it's semi-glutide. But I was given a heart medicine for my hair. And I wished I had done the research when it was given to me. And after about 2 or 3 months, this was like years ago, I felt, I'll never forget the outfit I had on. I was like, why are these pants so tight? And why is this scale like boop, 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 boop? So I researched the medicine and it was a straight up steroid. So after I picked up myself off of a ball on the floor, I threw the medicine away and didn't take it anymore. But I'm saying that to say that was a heart medicine that I was given for hair issues. I don't know. I just feel like we don't need to be so quick to jump on the is it Ozempic or is it this or is it that? And I feel like it's okay. That's the question. Now, what I don't agree with is people saying, I did all of this through doing exercise. Exercise does help. And maybe you were only on it for a short time, but don't almost like a Larsa Pippen that expects us to believe her behind is from squats. We know you lying. So the same thing with these GLP-1 medications. Be upfront and honest about it. If you're going to talk about your weight, I don't feel like they owe us anything if they all of a sudden lose weight. No, you don't owe me anything. But if you're out here now, I see you on the treadmill and doing one-handed push-ups and you're saying this weight loss is from, I just changed my lifestyle. I do think that's kind of like, I go back and forth because I get it. It's your privacy, but don't be out here promoting Herbalife if it's not Herbalife that did it, but it was Ozempic or Wegovy or what have you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So um, I do think it's sad though that we're at this state. I feel like at what point can women be at a place where it's like, you may say, I'm happy that my body's functioning. I'm happy with my body. However, I do want to lose some pounds. Like it should be okay to live in that duality. You know, the body positivity movement doesn't have to be a lie. What it could be about is making sure you love your body where you're at before you get to your initial goal. It doesn't have to be about hating your body through the process. You know what I'm saying? That's what should be spoken about. Because I remember when Monique was first losing weight, people were like, I thought you said you were happy. I thought you said da 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 da. Because people were taking her saying, I'm happy in my body as I don't want to lose weight. I think those are the discussions that would be helpful. Yes, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I love myself. However, I do want to drop X, Y, and Z pounds. And I think it's okay to say that. So I don't know, y'all. It's just a lot, but it makes me a little bit sad for Heather in a way, because it's like after you've lost these pounds, that's still going to be enough. I feel like she's still going to have which we all do have other insecurities. Maybe I'm not explaining it right. I don't know, but it just makes me feel like, but are y'all looking forward to next season of Salt Lake City? Like, do y'all think now that Monica's gone, well, I'm going to say on pause because I feel like she's coming back. Monica is on pause, but we see, looks like Mary has went away with the first trip of the season. What do y'all think? Are y'all looking forward to it? Did y'all want Monica to come back? Let me know y'all's thoughts, because let's move right along because I could keep going. Let's talk about Miss Larsa. Larsa Pippen. Don't make me call Larsa. I know it was Portia. I'm being funny. According to Reality Blurb, RHOM star Larsa Pippen and ex Scottie Pippen are being sued amid stalking and harassment claims from his alleged former lover. Scottie Pippen and his ex-wife, Larsa Pippen, are being sued amid allegations he stalked and harassed his former lover. Larsa, a star of Bravo's Real Housewives of Miami, filed for divorce in 2018. She's now in an off-and-on relationship with the son of Scottie's former teammate, Michael Jordan. According to Page Six, Chevette Valentine, an alleged ex-lover of Scottie, filed a suit against the basketball player and his ex-wife, Larsa, and she claimed he stalked and harassed her. Chevette also alleged that Scottie, his brother Carl T. Pippen, Larsa, and the Chicago Bulls created a suffering for her. She claimed their relationship was on and off from 1987 to 1993, and it severed because he, meaning Pippen, and Carl allegedly arred her. The lawsuit was filed in the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois. Allegedly, the assault led to her late son, Devontae Pippen's birth. Chevette's suit claims Scotty used his celebrity as a Chicago Bulls player to purportedly stalk, harass, and torment her. Chevette alleged this caused her severe mental and emotional issues, and she lost housing and multiple employment opportunities over Scotty's stalking. According to Chevette, Scotty used connections with federal, state, and local employees to cancel the police report Chevette filed, and he allegedly falsified the reports to depict her as mentally ill. Chevette seeks, y'all ready? $250 million from the Chicago Bulls, Scotty, and his family concerning the allegations. The outlet reached out to Scotty's attorney and a representative for the Chicago Bulls and Larsa, but Page Six didn't immediately hear back. Chevette also sued Scotty in 2019 for $9,999, which is the maximum amount allowed in small claims court, claiming she spent thousands of dollars on expenses related to travel throughout their relationship. According to Chevette, Scotty had promised to reimburse her for travel. She also said she wasn't aware of his marriage to Karen McCollum when he and Chevette were allegedly together. Karen and Scotty broke up in 1990. He married Larsa in 1997. So if we go back up, if he married Larsa in 1997, she's saying her relationship with Scotty went from 1987, when he was married to his first wife, all the way to 1993, during the time when he was married to Larsa. So she's suing Scotty, Larsa, and the Chicago Bulls for $250 million. Child, when I tell you that's wait a minute, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling and somebody is talking about Larsa. And why did they call her the Temu Kardashian? Y'all, that is sick and accurate. But anyway, so we'll have to see how this lawsuit plays out. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that any of the entities will settle out of court? I'm wondering what kind of documentation, paperwork, and all of that she has. And how long, because she said that Scotty's been shutting her down. So how long has she been trying to file this suit? So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open and we shall see. Let's talk about Miss Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. Jeezy demands Jeannie Mai's divorce lawyers be disqualified as battle over prenup heats up. Jeezy asked the court to force his estranged wife, Jeannie Mai, to fire her divorce lawyers as their divorce battle turns ugly. According to court documents obtained by RadarOnline.com, the musician filed a motion to disqualify Mai's attorneys, Randall Kessler, who worked with Nene, worked on Portia's first divorce, and is working on this divorce with Simon, and Stephen Curson. Jeezy said he did not file this motion lightly. He said Mai hired Kessler and Curson to represent her in the negotiation of their prenup in 2021 and used them again in the divorce. The musician said Mai made an excellent choice in picking Kessler and Curson and called them among the most accomplished and certainly most highly regarded family law attorneys in the entire state of Georgia. He added, more effective representation in a family law matter would indeed be difficult to find. However, Jeezy said he needed help from the court with the problem. Y'all, here we go. The musician said since he filed for divorce, Mai took and to this day maintains the position that while she is not contesting the validity or technical enforceability of the prenuptial agreement, neither is she contesting to its entry by this court. Mai's argument is nuanced to a degree, effectively saying that while she does not believe the prenuptial agreement is unenforceable, neither is she certain that it should be enforced by this court, the motion read. As we previously reported, Mai recently argued she wasn't given enough time to review the prenup before she signed it. She asked the judge to hold off on enforcing it in the divorce. She said the prenup talks didn't start until 5 days before the wedding. Mai argued she didn't have enough time to comb through Jeezy's finances to ensure the prenup was fair. Jeezy's motion read, Mai questioned not only the financial disclosures made by Jeezy attached to the prenuptial agreement, but also the totality of the negotiating process, lamenting the length of time she was afforded in which to review the draft prenuptial agreement and the due diligence performed on her behalf. So basically what they're saying is she's complaining that she didn't have enough time, her or her team, to review everything because the wedding was in 5 days. So she wasn't given enough time. Jeezy said my listed Kessler and Cursons as persons whom she knows or believes to have knowledge of facts supporting or tending to support her claims and contentions in this action, and or whom she intends to call as a witness in the matter. The rapper said it's a problem that Kessler and Curson were the ones who negotiated the prenup. So Kessler and Curson, they negotiated the prenup, the same prenup that she said she kind of signed, basically was forced to sign because the wedding was only 5 days away. She didn't have time. So Kessler and Curson negotiated the prenup and agreed to the terms, but are now contesting it and claiming Mai wasn't given enough time. So that's his argument. He's saying, hey, these two attorneys negotiated the prenup, read over it, said everything looked okay before the wedding. And now that we are divorcing, she's using them to represent her and kind of say, well, I don't know about the prenup. The same prenup that they agreed to was fair. The motion read, given the fact that Mai has questioned her ability to effectively review and negotiate the prenuptial agreement, which due diligence process would have been spearheaded on her behalf by Mr. Kessler and Mr. Curson, and further has questioned the financial disclosures of Jeezy, which financial disclosures were reviewed by Mr. Kessler and Mr. Curson, and then specifically mentioned the compressed time frame overall negotiations process. Mr. Kessler and Mr. Curson would presumably be offered by Mai to present testimony on her behalf in support of these alleged circumstances. So basically, now they're going to get up here and testify on her behalf. So we'll see what, because there's so much more into it and all this legal jargon, but basically y'all get the gist. She hired them to go over the prenuptial agreement, make sure everything was okay with it. They gave her the okay, she signed it. Now in the middle of this divorce, she's hired them for her divorce attorneys, who are also quite possibly, maybe, because that's the language it gives, quite possibly, maybe, sure but not sure, going to contest the prenup due to not having enough time when they were the ones that were looking over it in that time frame and okayed it. So I don't know. What do y'all think? It does seem kind of sticky, but there's so many loopholes and things with this law that don't seem like it doesn't make sense sometimes. So I guess we'll just have to see how this plays out. I thought maybe like there was a little bit of possibility that they would get back together like last year, like when it was first announced, and then the months kind of went on. But then as more stuff started coming out, I'm like, oh, I don't think they are getting back together. But what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with Jeezy? Like, nah, I think she needs to get herself some more divorce attorneys. They're kind of sort of double dipping, or what do y'all think? Let me know. Last story. Let's talk about Renee Graziano from Mob Wives. Y'all, I used to love me some Mob Wives. R.I.P. to Big Ange. I loved me some Mob Wives. One of my favorite scenes is where were they at? Were they at a reunion or meeting up or something? And baby Drita walked in there with that purse, and Karen was sitting at the table. Drita had that purse on her arm. She walked up, dropped the purse, and said, Karen, get up. I was like, when the girls talk about on site, that's it right there. Karen, get up. And I loved Renee too, even though I felt like who she reminds me of? Jackie from Basketball Wives. They do a lot of hollering and threatening, and security got to hold them back, but they never quite really put hands on people. Really. They do a lot of rah, 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 and I will do this, but never quite really get to that point unless somebody gets to them first. But still, I love Renee. Well, some shocking news for me, at least, came out. Renee talked about. So this is according to Page 6. Mob Wives star Renee Graziano reveals she overdosed on fentanyl last year, had to learn to walk again. She says she revealed she nearly died. She nearly died in a restaurant last year after overdosing on fentanyl. The reality star said she was hospitalized for more than a week and had to learn to walk again after the harrowing incident. Everything in my life was falling apart, she recalled in a preview of Wednesday's episode of the Dumb Blonde podcast obtained by TMZ. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Everything just started piling up, she told host Bunny XO. I gave up. Graziano explained that someone gave her a bag of fentanyl in September 2023 when it was supposed to be cocaine. I died in a restaurant in Florida. I was dead. I was intubated for 3 days and I spent 9 days in the hospital learning to walk again. She says, give me 1 second, y'all, because I scrolled too fast. Here we go. The celebrity Big Brother UK alum said she does not remember anything from the beginning of her hospitalization, adding, 3 days are wiped from my brain. Y'all, can you imagine? Like 3 days just totally gone. You don't know where you were. Like there's, so it's like it didn't exist. It's not even like you remember the days, but not what happened. It just doesn't exist anymore. While Graziano shared that no one in her family visited her at the hospital, she does not blame them because she admittedly has put them through hell. TMZ reported that she subsequently entered a treatment facility and got sober. Graziano previously said her struggles with substance abuse stem from anxiety, depression, and SA endured at the hands of abusive partners. The daughter of mobster Anthony Graziano was arrested for driving under the influence in Staten Island in January 2022 after crashing into a parked car. No one was involved in the accident, but no one was touched or injured. She wrote on social media afterward, I was taken to the hospital as a precaution. There I was tested and treated and grateful to be alive. So shouts out to Renee for getting the help she needed. You know, it took a harrowing circumstance that, thank God, ended up like that and not in a worse way, especially with this fentanyl. So she learned to walk again, and she says she entered a treatment facility and is sober. So shout out to Renee. Would y'all like to see an iteration of Mob Wives come back? And if it came back, do you think it could come back to the level that it was before? Because let's be clear, they was fighting and tussling and all of that on that show, and I loved it. Do you think we're in a time now where they would be able to do that? Remember for a time with Basketball Wives, when they got into fights, they like didn't show it at all. And like Love and Marriage, the Love and Hip Hop franchises, before we would see the full out brawls, but now it seems like they kind of try to chop it up a little bit. So I wonder if Mob Wives did come back, would it be that, or could it just go back to how it was? But then again, if they use some of the same ladies, they may have evolved and that they may not even be about that anymore. I don't know. Drita was just the bartender on Watch What Happens Live. So I don't know. I missed Mob Wives again. RIP to Big Ange. I truly loved that show. I didn't watch the like new iteration. Like, wasn't it like the kids of the Mob Wives? They had a show or so. I didn't get into all of that. But y'all, thank you so much for spending this time with me on my little lunch break, if you will. Hopefully, I will be back later on today. An episode did drop today for the podcast. Again, you can listen to the audio version. What else is going on podcast with Taria S. Faison, wherever it is you listen to your podcast, Spotify. I was going to say Instagram, but Spotify. Oh my God, I'm having a brain feast. Amazon Music, iTunes, all of that good stuff. The visual is up on YouTube. My guest, her name is Chai, so show her some love. Y'all, I love y'all so, so much. Again, thank you to each and every subscriber. I do not take your subscription lightly. For those of y'all that watched me on Kempire's Live yesterday, because I did go live with Kempire, and we talked about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Make sure you go check that out. I appreciate all y'all's kind words and y'all coming over here, and for y'all support. I am truly grateful. So y'all, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.